There's many things in Apex Respawn wants you to forget, like that time they deleted an iconic part of Titanfall 2 lore, showed us a skin they refused to release, and also removed the coolest Ashe animation, and many more things. The first thing I think they want you to forget though is this finisher that was found when Apex first came out. When Apex was released and people got their hands on the files and started looking through them, they found this unused legend finisher, which honestly seemed a bit intense for Apex. Apex's finishers were very toned down, you'd punch somebody and they'll die, but this, you kind of like torture them a bit and then shoot them in the head, which was crazy. This led a lot of people to believe this was going to be a Blisk finisher when he came out, because there were a lot of leaks around that time of Blisk being developed into a legend. But Blisk never came out and we never saw this finisher. Although these days when I look at this finisher, I do believe this could have been one made for Titanfall 3, when Apex was still Titanfall 3, as the style of it and the brutality of it is very similar to the Titanfall 2 finishers. And if you're not aware, Apex Legends was built off Titanfall 3 when the project was shifted into a battle royale, and will likely never know the true intention of this finisher. Staying on the topic of Titanfall though, when Season 24 came out, Ashe got a new passive that gave her the ability to dash, which meant her old passive got removed, and it removed an essential part of her kit to show her pilot identity, as Ashe's old passive ability was the ability to scan death boxes with her data knife, and it would ping the enemies who killed the owner of the death box. Obviously, if you're not aware, data knives are a big thing in Titanfall 1 and 2. They're used to hack specters, objects, and even stab people in the head, so it's a shame that Respawn removed the data knife, but to be honest, it was replaced with a better passive ability. One major thing Apex definitely wants you to forget these days though is thematic events. As you may be aware, currently there are two types of events in Apex, a collection event and also a milestone event, but there used to be a third type of event called a thematic event. And if milestone events were hell, these events were heaven, because first of all, every single skin and item released in a thematic event would be available in the skin list in Apex for the rest of Apex's life. That's why you have these random event items in the skin list, is because they were released in thematic events. Also, all of the items that are sold in a thematic event would have their price reduced by 50% 3 seasons after the event ended, which was pretty cool as well. Also, in these events, everything was very affordable. You could buy it with crafting materials instead of being forced to gamble and use Apex coins, and everyone loved these events. They had no problem with them, which is why the last one we had was 10 seasons ago. And this next point might make you get a little mad. So first, what is this? Lean? Gamer Sups? It must be that energy drink with 0 sugar, 0 calories, and clean caffeine with no crash after you drink it, unlike those other energy drinks. And also, unlike those energy drinks, it's only 40 cents a serving. It tastes great, has some nice flavors, and also you can get 10% off using code GRRT that supports my channel. And if enough of you use my code, I'm going to go to Gamer Sups HQ and make them make a simulacrum bathwater flavor. The link's in the description, or just go to Gamer Sups and use my code. Speaking of simulacrums though, the next thing Respawn want you to forget is regarding Ashe's old sword animation. As many people noticed when Ashe first came out, whenever she punched, she would use her sword in the melee animation. And this was a great little secret that gave her lots of personality, but when her heirloom came out, these animations stopped playing. They became much rarer, and provably so. A few years ago when the Ashe heirloom did come out, I picked up on this story and tested it, and it was true. The Ashe sword animation would play way less after her heirloom update. And if we're honest with ourselves, it was maybe because Respawn thought people were too happy with the sword animation, and were like, if you really want a sword animation, buy these $160 nunchucks. Which is definitely a sad story, and I hope they stop removing cool animations. There's one thing that they did though that really made Titanfall fans very mad, despite it being a small thing. As you may remember, back in Season 9, it was a very popular season because it introduced a lot of Titanfall lore into Apex, considering the fact that the legend for the season was Valkyrie, who was the daughter of Viper, one of the most loved enemies in Titanfall 2. And we also saw Viper and his Titan in a story from the Outlands. As well as that, we got arenas in Season 9, which was run by Ashe, so another Titanfall character came back as well. Here's something weird though. When Valkyrie launched, she launched with a skin where she was wearing Viper's helmet but repainted, which was cool, but this skin came with a lore blurb explaining the lore behind the skin. And the lore went as Valkyrie ultimately finds her father's frozen body in space, still in his Titan. He finally receives the funeral he deserves, but she keeps his helmet, not to mourn his life, but to celebrate it. And Titanfall fans took issue with this because when you kill Viper in Titanfall 2, he not only falls out of the broken Titan, but also the Titan has no hatch. So how did she find his body in the Titan? Of course, a few people explain this away with Protocol 3. Maybe the Titan did have a bit of life in it and tried to protect the pilot. We can't act like that's not a possibility considering BT does the same thing in the same mission. But then again, the ship he was on crashed, so you're saying he stayed in the Titan through the crash? Of course, this is nitpicky, but Titanfall fans took an issue of it. And to be fair, they take an issue of just about anything Titanfall in Apex, like even the most silly things. Although, funnily enough, Respawn will go on to contradict their contradiction by making this art here, where Viper isn't in his Titan, and he's not even in space, and also BT's severed arm is there as well. This just makes no sense. Speaking of Titanfall though, there's one Titanfall thing in Apex they want you to forget, because obviously we all know, during Titanfall 3's development, it turned into Apex, and there's some leftovers that definitely reveal this, and one of the leftovers is kind of haunting, because we're all used to the announcer's voice. She tells you when the ring's closing, when loot bins reset, but when Apex first came out, this announcer voice line was data mined.
Caution, Titanfall approaching battlefield. Stand by for Titanfall.
If that's not the craziest, most haunting voice line in Apex, I don't know what to tell you. Although there's one controversial update that Respawn have tried to push into the game for almost 4 years now, but keep failing. The removal of tap strafing. They've tried several times, and the community does not let it slide. For example, back in 2021, Respawn made a full tweet where they were like, yeah, we're removing tap strafe in the next update. It's fully getting removed. And people got that mad that Respawn reverted this decision. And the tweet is still up to date as a bit of a relic. But that wasn't the last time Respawn tried, as several times in the future, in playtests of the seasons, people started noticing tap strafe was nerfed, and then Respawn would immediately revert this sneaky nerf. People are so in tune to check for tap strafe nerfs. Even one happened recently, as halfway through Season 23, Respawn decided again to sneakily nerf tap strafing. People noticed, complained, and then Respawn had to put out a tweet saying, we just reverted the change that negatively impacted tap strafing. I mean, they tried to put this nerf so secretly and discreetly in the patch notes, but people were not having it. This has been going on for 4 years now. I don't think tap strafe is ever gonna be nerfed. They've tried everything, like there's no way it can be nerfed anymore. People just get too mad. Around the same time frame as this situation as well, around 4 years ago, Respawn have been teasing one skin and had it in the game, ready to release, but won't release it. And this is the third Voidwalker recolor. You see, when the first Voidwalker skin released, it was very popular, so immediately Respawn knew they had to recolor it. So in Season 7, they put 3 recolors for it in the files. You had the black recolor, the Christmas recolor, and the blue recolor. These skins would slowly start to roll out to Apex, with the Christmas one coming out in Season 7, the Dark Voidwalker releasing in Season 12, but still to this day, in Season 24, the Blue Voidwalker recolor has never released. But it's not like Respawn have forgotten about it, because 1 season ago, they accidentally featured it in some of the promotional art for the season, showing it's still in game, and whoever's playtesting the game is selecting it. Also, when creators were allowed to play Season 20 early, Fade actually had this skin equipped, and it was only visible for a few frames. Yet, they still haven't released it. It's even got a name. Warpatch. Will this ever come to the game? Well, it's been about 17 seasons since it was added, and it's still not been released. So, you know, at this point, I doubt it. One big loss of the Apex Legends IP on a whole, though, was the discontinuing of Apex Mobile, because it had a load of really cool unique skins, like this one, like this one, like this one, and many more, as well as exclusive heirlooms, like the Octane Bat, which was just perfection, and also Fade's really cool knife knuckle duster heirloom. And every single one of these cosmetics, and even features, was deleted when Respawn discontinued Apex Mobile. Apex Mobile getting discontinued and deleted was a very sad day, although many Apex Mobile features have actually made their way over to main Apex over the years, like names of points of interest being above the points of interest, legend perks, a permanent TDM mode, and many more things. I just think it's crazy that the Apex mobile game, which got deleted, has inspired many features in modern Apex. It shows it probably wasn't all that bad in its gameplay, it just didn't get the attention EA required it to get, which is truthfully devastating. I wish the game was still going on these days. One big loss Respawn just wanted us to forget though came with the Battle Pass rework back in Season 22, because Respawn really condensed the rewards in the Battle Pass and removed a few. And one of the rewards they completely removed from the Battle Pass was the Seasonal Trackers. Seasonal Trackers essentially tracked the amount of kills, wins, and damage you will get in a season on certain legends. And this created a really cool community of kill grinders who would essentially try to grind out the most kills they could in a season to get on a leaderboard. But unfortunately, when Seasonal Trackers were removed from the game, this also removed the leaderboard. So kill grinding season to season is no longer a thing, and that sucks. Also because I was like 100th in the world for Mirage kills a few years ago. Yes, ladies, that was me. Yes, the Mirage guy. But Respawn definitely want us to forget that getting removed because it basically killed a community of the game, which a lot of people are still salty about. Also, if you are interested in some gamer subs, you know, I use this stuff on the daily. It is good, especially for energy, and it's cheap. Links in the description, code GRRT for 10% off, and I'll see you.